Hi guys, this is Shanita again, and I am putting aside my normal project for a new project where I am trying to upgrade on a pair of slippers. I've actually several pairs of slippers that I've been making lately, and those slippers, like this one, don't have any like rubber sole on the bottom because they are crocheted. I turn the light out a little bit. Because they're crocheted all the way around, so there's nothing back here. And people have been wondering if they could get something to keep the bottoms a little bit more cleaner. Okay, so with that being said, there's all my yarn in the background. I bought a big old bag, a giant bag of spa slippers. Okay, spa slippers, they're like 25 in a pack. They look like this. Okay, real thin, but they have rubber on the bottoms. So what I did was, it went from this to this. I cut all the material or gauze or whatever you want to call it off the top of the spot slipper, and I can see the holes and stuff where they originally sewed it in, so that way it'd be easier for me to put my needle in if sewing is the way I choose to go. Okay, I'm not sure yet. I'm also thinking of going this route. Okay, this is a shoe repair type of glue, and it's clear, but it says that it's supposed to work really good and hold strong and be waterproof and those types of things. So I'm not sure exactly which way we're going to go yet. I do know that once I put one, because I have a few here that are getting ready to go out for shipping. If I can get this to work, then I'm going to do that to all the shoes I have, plus the future shoes that I make. Okay, for whether it be this kind or whether it be any other kind of crocheted slipper type of product. All right, as we're looking at it, I can see that for this one, it's not too bad, as far as length, fitting. But if I was to make something smaller, then I'd have to be able to cut that down to size. And right now, since it's just for me, I'm going to try them on. I got to, do a product test to make sure this is actually going to work. But for me, I'm not going to have a problem. If it works, I'm happy. There's no question about that. And if I need to cut it down, I will for different shoe sizes. My thing with cutting it down was that I didn't want it to not look neat. Right now the edge looks neat because that's the way it was made. If I end up having to cut it, it probably won't look as good. But then again, I guess it's the bottom of the shoe that may not necessarily be the point. People just want to be able to wear it other places than, uncarpeted areas. So with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try glue first, okay, and see how that works. And if that works out good, then that's great and that's wonderful. And if not, then what I'm going to do is take my needle, one of these thread needles here. This has got a big hole in it. And I'm going to sew the base color of the slipper. In this instance, it's yellow. And I'm going to whip stitch that around to attach it to the bottom of the rubber sole. The thing with that is that some of the thread will probably show through the backside. Obviously, if I'm pulling it through, then it's gonna go through the sole. That might or might not be a problem for people. I don't know if I'd like it that much, but then again, we're talking, trying to get more durability for your money. At the end of the day, you want them to be able to last longer. And having a rubber sole will allow you to do that. Will allow your slipper to last longer, and stay cleaner. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I am going to take a pause to open up this glue and see how that works. And you guys just keep your fingers crossed for me, because I'm real hopeful about this, and I've been trying to figure out ways to get this to work um, how I could improve on these slippers, because I actually have a pair of shoes or socks, footies, that I have been wearing around the house, but I noticed that the more I wear them, they start to get a little what do you call it? They start to get a little frayed and frazzled um, at the bottom from wear. So I can't imagine that not happening to these as well. So I am just, you can't see me, but I am just like putting glue in strategic areas. This doesn't have a type of cap where you can just squeeze it out, and and it'll be a nice thin line. Although that would be awesome, right? So I'm just kind of putting it in spots around the shoe, trying to not making sure I don't cover the holes, because if I have to sew it instead, then I don't want glue to be where the needle needs to go through, because that could cause a problem for me, and I don't want to be struggling. Crafting it should be fun, and it wouldn't be fun if I have to struggle to push the needle through here. So that's another reason why I like this spot slipper, though. It's thin, and I have a big enough needle for pushing through the material. Okay, so that's a plus. I'm glad of that. Because I wasn't sure what to expect. All I know is 25 sounds like an awful lot to me, and I was real good with that, because maybe with the fix, the upgrade, people will be more interested in having these. Anyway, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I put the glue around the inside of where the holes for the needle is. So that way, as I was saying before, that we don't get glue caught in those, because we may end up having to use them. And if we have to use them, then we want to be able to access them with the least amount of difficulty as possible. Okay? All right. So, let me see. I need something hard. We'll use this board here on my lap. And we're going to place the sole. Now looking at this glue, let me put the top back on it for a second. Drips out. Oh, and it's going to do that too, right on my furniture. I'm so glad. I didn't put any down the middle. I wonder if I should have. Probably should have done that as well. And it doesn't sound like a bad idea. Some down here in the middle as well, because it's supposed to be some waterproof stuff. That would be pretty awesome too. Yes, I do think so as well. All right, this was the top. I cut this stuff off the top of the actual spot slipper. This was all the material that was on the top. It was pretty thin, as you can see. Easy to cut it off and unstring it. And remember, that's what it looked like in the beginning. Just a flat piece, like a little flat house shoe. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna take. Let's take this one, and I'm gonna place it at what I hope to be. Let's not mess up. Kind of center-like on the sole. And I'm going to press it down a little bit. As a matter of fact, I'll probably just put something on it, and then I'm going to check back with this in a little bit. I think this one might have been just a tad bit smaller. But anyway, I'm going to, as I said, well, what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, is there's still a gap right between there where I'm putting this. So I think that maybe we need to put a little bit of pressure on it, something like that, so all of it gets in there. Maybe, and this is just my guess, maybe it's just not for like cloth-like materials. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just for plastics and things like that. I did read it. It did say, you know, like plastics and leather and those types of things. But I was, in my mind, my head is telling me, well, hell, excuse me. If craft glue or a hot glue gun can, you know, glue stuff onto clothing and different types of fabrics, which I didn't use the hot glue gun because I wanted something that I thought was going to be stronger, then this stuff should be just as good. All right? That's what I was hoping for. If it is not just as good, then it looks to me like we're going to end up sewing. We're going to end up sewing this edge. These shoes, I don't know if you can tell, have a pleat around the whole shoe. There's a pleated edge here. Yes, this is so terrible, the lighting. And I'm going to take that pleated edge down. All right, to the sole. So that's where we'll do. That's where I'm going to do the stitching at. Is inside the edge to connect it to the bottom piece of our shoe. Okay. And we will work from there. Okay. So right now I'm just kind of giving it more pressure around the edge, hoping amongst hope that, oh, well, it's stayed on, so obviously it's sticking, but still, that's not the look. God, man, I wish this light was better. That's not really the look that we're going for, to have that open like that. I think, for all intents and purposes, that it would look better aesthetically, look better if it was stitched the same color as the sole. So stitching, whether it be yellow stitching around the outline of this sole, or whether this be stitched to the sole with the yellow, which still got to look better than it just kind of hanging out there like that. So, which means you're going to have a little bit of the yellow thread coming out here on the back side, because I mean you got to go through it, right? But overall, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a pretty good idea, and that's what's going on right now. So this still would need to have some drying time because it's still wet, this glue. I'm going to go ahead and glue the other one down with my hot glue gun, and I'm going to see how that works out. These aren't actually for anybody. These are for me. For me. And that way I can see how the other one works as well, because like I said before, hot glue guns are used in many crafts, many crafts, and I might have just went on ahead and spent, you know, $6 on a tube of shoe glue that I might not have needed, but you know what, doesn't mean it won't get used. It probably still will get used, because there's always something. I'm always thinking of new stuff. I'm always doing something. So that's where we are. Okay, so now you know how I'm starting, what I'm working on. There'll be a video later on, either with this sewed. Actually, it will be one with it sewed in, one with me using the hot glue gun to see if that was even, if that was a better choice. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.